So, I meditated for 3 hours for 21 days, 3 hours straight. I was doing Vipassana meditation. Um, and I promised that I would record a video in the end of my 21 days reporting on how I feel and what happened. So, the title is I meditated for 21 days. Here's what happened. And you see, nothing happens. We think in terms of immediate gratification. It's like we invest some of our energy into something and we expect immediate results. And with things like meditation, um, you don't get immediate results, right? You have to start thinking of things in terms of investments. Like when you prepare for a marathon, right? You run every day, you practice every day, because you increase your stamina. For a sprint, you don't train for a sprint every day. You kind of train for a sprint. You prepare, and then you sprint. You don't sprint all the time. That's not how you prepare for a sprint. But if preparing for a marathon, you run at a pace. And meditation is one of those investments where you're in it for the long run. You're not in it for a 40-yard sprint and whoever gets there first wins. No, you're in to complete the marathon. It doesn't matter if you're in the first place. And if you are in the first, if you have the desire to be in the first place in the marathon, either you got to be pretty damn good. That's the only way. You got to be pretty damn good, and you don't win a marathon for the gratification of, well, let me rephrase it. You win a marathon to be an inspiration for others to complete the marathon. When you win a sprint, that is more of a competition. When you run a marathon, if you're first, you only inspire those behind you. Because in a marathon, we acknowledge that all of us are different. All of us have different speed. We have different paces, and meditation is one of those activities. You don't compete to meditate. It's not like I meditated 3 hours to compete with the people who meditate for 2 hours. That would be ridiculous. Because you can't measure inner work. I don't think you can. I mean, you can't measure wisdom. It's whether you are wisdom. It's whether you're wise, given the context of your own previous experiences. So what I'm trying to say is someone else's wisdom is not your wisdom, and that's how it is with meditation. So I didn't experience anything amazing, anything. I read a comment on TikTok because I've been posting my meditation videos on TikTok, and one of the comments was like, "Why do you do this?" And then someone else replied, they were like, "Extremely psychedelic experiences." And I'm like, nah. No, not in the initial phases of you practicing daily. You practicing daily meditation for the first few years is pain, suffering, and sometimes you feel calm and tranquil and equanimous. But it does come with a lot of resistance. It comes with a lot of emotional pain, a lot of physical pain, a lot of difficulty. It's not easy meditating, dude. When I started meditating, I couldn't sit still for 15 minutes. Closing my eyes for 15 minutes was a huge deal when I first started. And by daily practice, I've been practicing for a few years now. Daily practice, I was able to build up to 3 hours. So the number one thing I gained from I'm not wearing my, never mind. The number one thing I gained from these 3 hours of meditation for 21 days is to acknowledge that I am able to meditate for 3 hours a day. Because just like a month ago, if you told me let's meditate for 3 hours a day, I would think you're nuts. Because I'm used to doing an hour, hour and 30-minute max. I was used to doing an hour 30 max, and even hour 30 was pushing it, But one of my mentors, he came through. He lives downstairs in my house, and he's like, "Hey, let's meditate for 3 hours." And I'm like, Why not? What else is there to do, am I right? So I accepted the challenge, and it was challenging, and it was challenging when I was doing it too. It was challenging just to accept it, because if you meditate, how much of a leap it is to go from 1 hour to 3 hours. Like, damn, like, but I did it, and I'm proud of it. But there's nothing I really gained other than my practice got stronger. There's nothing. I'm not enlightened yet. I'm not. I don't have superpowers yet. Although I might have superpowers, but that's for another video. Start thinking in terms of investments, yo. There's no quick shortcut for happiness, And in a sense, all these 21 days, I invested in my happiness. I invested in my future. Quarantine time, when I was home. So it was a time to invest. It was a time to break my own barriers. It was a time to evolve. And that's what I got out of it. I got evolution out of it. I got confidence out of it. The fact that I could sit for 3 hours, that increases your confidence. So some more things about the practice itself. My initial aim was to sit 3 hours without moving, but that's a very high order to fill. Especially, I'm just a beginner. I'm a noob. That's a tall order to fill, man. But I was able to do it one day, but unfortunately my phone died at the 1 hour mark that day. So I don't have it on camera that I didn't move for 3 hours, but one of the days I managed to not move, even though it was very painful. But all the other days, at the 2 hour mark, I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. At the 2 hour mark, I would have a sharp pain on my right groin, so like about right here, very, very sharp pain. And it was recurring, like every sit. It was this distinct point that it started hurting. And I moved, but I didn't really feel bad about it because, I did 2 hours without moving many of the days, and I was very proud of that. But, I didn't want to really torture myself, because when you're not really equanimous, like, you will get to a point, and, in certain meditation shits, where even if it hurts, you're going to be able to, just like pay attention to it, and, it hurts, and you just acknowledge that it hurts, and that's it. You don't react like, oh, it hurts, I gotta move, but it hurt. For me, it hurt. I moved. I don't really feel bad about it. It is what it is, and it's not a race. It's not a competition. I guess it's a competition with myself. Like, I want to be better than what I was yesterday, but it's not a competition against the world. Right? And it's just mind games. And one of the really things I realized, I didn't really gain, but like I really realized, I gained this realization that time is a fucking illusion, man. Time is a mind fuck. Time is illusion. Not sure how to articulate it other than 1 hour can seem like 3 hours, and 3 hours can seem like 1 hour, and 5 minutes can seem like 20 minutes, and 20 minutes could seem like 30 seconds. It's all relative. It's all relative to your thoughts. It's all relative to your reactions. Time is a construction that we constructed. Time is a construction that human being constructed. And the illusion, the notion of time is so ingrained in our mind that we live our life according to it, So when I sit down for 3 hours, just the notion that I'm going to sit down for 3 hours is in self-illusion, because, like, it's immeasurable, Like, when you're having the experience of meditation, you're not really within the realm of time. I don't know how to quite put this, but in order for you to be conscious of time, you have to imagine it. So if you're sitting and you start thinking, oh, it's like, oh, maybe 40 minutes left, that is the moment where you create time. Prior to that, there was no time. And when that thought goes out and then you're paying attention, you're back into your meditation, that illusion is broken. You're no longer thinking of the moment in terms of time, except for the moments when you are thinking of the moment in terms of time. Doesn't really make that much sense, but if you meditated, and if you have a psychedelic experience, if you've had any mystical experiences, or even if you've kind of awoken a little bit into mindfulness, then you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was pretty much one of the best things I learned from it. That time is entirely subjective to my reaction, and if I don't react to time as I do, then time's just a construct. If I don't react to 3 hours as 3 hours, it's not 3 hours. Anyways, investment, yo. You have to invest. This is the time to invest. A lot of things are going on in the world, and you are very lucky to be home. It's relative about what you're doing at home, but if you utilize the time, then you're gonna realize, you're gonna be grateful for this period of isolation, because this is the time to get right habits. This is the time to start meditating. This is the time to reflect on your life. This is the time to think about your purpose. This is the time to help others. This is the time to spread love. This is the time to fix your social media. This is the time to cleanse your social media. This is the time to unfollow everyone who doesn't support you. This is the time to make new friends who are into the things you're into, because right now social media is popping, and whatever you're into, a lot of people are going to be tweeting about it, and all you have to do is go look, type what you're into, and see what people are saying about it, and you're going to make friends. I've made so many friends on Twitter recently, it's crazy. I just go and I put my favorite tags, and whoever's tweeting about it, I retweet it, I kind of reply to it, and I follow them, and I have a bunch of new friends that are very, 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 that I'm very, very grateful about, and that I'm glad I have met, because they were basically, people I followed. I was looking for them, and they were looking for me. We were just inspiring each other. We're on the same journey. We're walking the same path. And the support is unreal, man. The support I've been getting for meditation for these 3 hours. A lot of people messaging me saying they're inspired, and dude, that makes me more inspired. Like, I'm a Leo, Sun Leo, Rising Leo, North Node Leo, and these messages, it's like, if I'm inspiring other people as a Leo, that really kind of that makes me prideful. I can be proudful in like a egotistical way, or I can be proud in a way that empowers me and empowers my own habits. So it's been empowering me, man. Even though I kind of like the inspiration, I kind of like the attention, but it's not like I feed off the attention. It kind of gives me the empowerment to continue my path and to continue inspiring others, and by inspiring others, I inspire myself to inspire others. And it's a game, it's a journey, it's a game of reflecting. You reflect yourself onto the world. When you put out yourself into the world, that is a reflection of you. The real you is, let's not get into that. Find out who you really are. But the you project onto the world is merely a reflection. So be careful of what you reflect. If you reflect negativity, then that's what you will attract. When you look in the mirror, when you look into the mirror, you only see what you reflect. And that's a huge metaphor for your own life, is you see what you reflect. Your experience is predicated upon what you've been reflecting. So if you reflect light, if you reflect love, if you reflect laughter, if you reflect happiness, then that's what you get. If you reflect inspiration, that's what you get. You become more inspired. If you reflect ego, then what happens is other people's ego bother you. If you reflect hatred, then the hate you see in the world really bothers you. But if you reflect love, then you don't hate the love. I mean, you don't hate the hate if you are loving. You love the hate because that's who you are. It's like if you've trained yourself to love, you're incapable of hating. Now there's degrees to that, there's like, oh, you're so capable of loving that you don't hate anymore, but there's also understanding. You're so capable of understanding that you don't really hate, you kind of just understand. That's what I'm working with also. I'm not I'm not all love all the time, although it has increased since I started meditating, since I do my practices, since I've had some mystical experiences. I've been a more loving person, but it doesn't go away at once. It's a whole journey. It's a lifelong journey of self-purification until you can get to the point where you are very loving. And what I've been really struggling with is, I would say, self-acceptance, and not just accepting myself, but accepting others through myself. So I still have a tendency to criticize others for their actions, and I know better than that, but mostly because I criticize myself for my own actions. For when I'm less than I know what I'm capable of, I tend to criticize myself, and that's where most of my criticisms come from to other people too. Is when I see that people are deliberately doing less than what they're capable of, that really messes with me, man. That really grinds my gears, for a better phrase. And my vision for you is that you do what you're capable of, and you deliberately choose to do what you're capable of. Because in this world, it is very, very, very easy to deliberately not do what you're capable of. In this world, it is very easy to do less. It is very easy to resist what you know you want to do. And this is one of the things I've been wanting to do. Is like, if you watch my very first video on this channel, I said that I'm going to be uploading every day, right? And I didn't upload every day, even though at the moment when I said it, I really meant it. And then I started doing the 3 hours every day. What I really was saying, that I was going to upload myself talking every day, but now I was able to record my 3-hour sit. Then I was recording every day, just to I was basically lying to myself, man. I said I was gonna upload every day. I did upload every day, but I didn't upload every day. I didn't upload the things I wanted to upload every day. And I was kind of tricking myself. I was like, oh, I uploaded today. It was a 1-minute video of me saying, like, what the? Yeah. Anyways. Love. It's all love. The more you're vibrating at a frequency of love, the more you attract love, the more you see love in the world, and the more you become aware of what love really is. This is a beautiful day. I'm in the park. Sun is beaming. It hasn't been this warm in a few weeks, I would say, and I think it's pretty warm this whole week. So I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna be barefoot and I'm gonna talk like this about whatever. Don't expect immediate results, man. That's one of the traps I felt into. Every bad habit I ever had was to get immediate results. When I used to do drugs, it was to get immediate gratification. When I used to steal, it was to get immediate gratification. a lot of bad habits. When I used to indulge myself in food, my food thing has gotten better. It's really awesome how much I've just within the last month my relationship with food has gotten better. But you know that's a way of instant gratification. When you overindulge in food, you know that's trying to get something out of nothing very fast, and that's abusing your body, abusing your harmony for a quick pleasure release. So yeah, man, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, props to you, my friend, because it's so difficult to get someone to watch something that is good for them. It's so difficult to convince someone that something is worth their while. And if you're watching these videos, taking 20 minutes out of your day to watch me speak, you know, that's remarkable, and I'm very grateful for that, because it's difficult, man. Whoa, my phone's about to die. I can't really see myself because the brightness went down, but it's really difficult to get people to do what you want them to do. And that's by design, you know, that's not an accident, because it's hard for me to do what other people want me to do also. And it's a you know, it's a mutual resistance, you know. We are all facing mutual problems. We have all mutual ignorance, you know. The ignorance you have, you learn from your world. Your ignorance is not just special. Man, this stuff is so deep, you know. Just that I can break down. But we share our ignorance, and all of my ignorance stems from the ignorance around me, and all of the ignorance around me stems from my ignorance. I'm gonna end this video here. I'm gonna keep uploading because I like doing this, and this is fun. I just realized the camera is over there, but I've been looking over here. Anyways, still looking over here. Anyways, sit with your spine straight. Take a deep breath. Say thank you. You are powerful. You are light. You are love. Your true nature is abundance. Your true nature is infinity. Your true nature is truth.